Hi, I want to go over how grading is going to work. So you've gotten your first lab grades and you've gotten your first quiz grade. So what do you do with them? What do they mean? All you see is letters right now. So if you go into the general course materials, down towards the bottom is objectives and grading. And in there's an Excel spreadsheet which has a list of all of the course objectives, the learning objectives for the class. And then there's two types of a grade sheet. If you want to print it, there's a PDF. If you want to use it online, then you can use the PowerPoint. And this grade sheet is how you keep track of your grades. So keep track of this piece of paper. This is one of the most important pieces of paper in the class. So I'm gonna go to the PowerPoint version to show you what you need to do when you get some grades. All right, so we've got the PowerPoint, and what you'll see is a list of A-level objectives up top, and then all the C-level objectives. So the C-levels are the learning objectives that you need to pass in order to pass the class. So these are, if you pass a physics class, you should know this material. So those are the C-level objectives, and in order to pass the class, as I said, you need to get 22 of 24 of them. So down at the bottom, it tells you how many you need of each type in order to get a certain grade. In order to get above a C, you need to pass these objectives. These are either harder material, usually mathematically harder, or they're applications of material or extensions that use some other information but are kind of just extra. So we've got C levels and A levels. So what are you going to do? So you're going to look at your grade for the quiz that we did yesterday, and that was objective 1. And you got a P, an M, an E, or an I. So those are our 4 grades that you can get. You can get a P, M, E, or I. P stands for pass. So that's what you need. In order to pass the objective, you're looking for that P. That means pass. M means you made a minor mistake. And so you're close, but no cigar. E means a major error. So that's a big error, and you need to do a fair bit more studying in order to pass, to try to pass on the second chance that you get. The I means it's either incomplete or there was insufficient information that you gave me in order for me to grade it. So if you didn't turn it in, for instance, or there was enough missing that I couldn't give you a grade, that's what the I stands for, incomplete or insufficient. So you look at your grade for quiz 1, and you are going to, it's up to you how you want to do it. If you only want to write down the pass, if you got a pass, you want to write down passes, great. If you want to write down what you have, so maybe you got a minor error, you can do that. But this is how you're going to keep track of your grades. So every time you take an assessment, you're going to say, okay, I got that one passed, and we'll do number 3. So maybe I got an M on number 3. But your goal is to have passes on every single one of these, hopefully, so that you can, down at the bottom, figure out what grade you're going to have. So you just count up, how many passes do I have? And for the labs, so not really the average, it's just your top 3. So you can ignore average. So lab grades, you need to pass 3 times. You don't have to pass in a row, that's why I have 3. So for lab 1, the spreadsheet lab, you got 3 grades. It was like a P and a dash. Those are for the 3 lab standards, 26, 27, and 28. So write down what that first one. So most people got a pass on the first, that's communication. So you did good on spelling and grammar. Most people got an M on the second one, that's I have everything that's needed in a lab report. I include everything. So most people were missing maybe a unit or a follow-up question or something like that. And then because it wasn't actually an experiment, I didn't grade 28. 28 is on error analysis. I can figure out what the errors are in a lab experiment. So what you're going to do every time you get a lab grade, a set of lab grades, is you just write, okay, so maybe the next lab you'll get an M and then a P and then an M. Okay, and then you'll just keep working until you have 3 Ps. So that's how you're going to be working on the lab the lab grades, the lab standards. Same thing with the science news that's due this week. So you're going to get 2 grades. The first is for clear communication. So that's, you have it all there. It's good spelling, good grammar. And objective 30, again, it's not the average, sorry. Objective 30 is I can apply scientific thinking. So that's kind of that 4th piece of the assignment, and that'll change each week. The first 3 pieces of the assignment don't change. Having a citation, doing like a 1-sentence summary, and then saying why you chose that article. So you'll get 2 grades every time you turn in a science news, and that's where you'll put these. Now you need to pass 5 of these in order to pass the objective. So you got to be careful, because like if you have this here, that doesn't count as 2 passes. There's 1 objective here, and you need 22 objectives, not 22 passes, but you need 22 objectives passed in order to get your C. So that's the basics of the grading. And by the time we get to week 3, you probably will have it figured out. I wouldn't worry too much about it right now, because the grades will just stay there. If it's not making sense right now, don't worry about it. We'll get it figured out. If you want to make an appointment with me to go over how you're doing, maybe by week 3 or something, happy to do that. This is the grade sheet here. This is how you know how you're doing and what you're aiming for. So, you know, if you'd like a B+, you're aiming for 22 out of 24 of the C level objectives, the blue, and you're aiming for 5 of A level objectives. So that's the grading for the class. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, good luck with it all.